Sonic 1 for the Sega Genesis, and Sonic 1 for the Game Gear. In a similar vein, here are Sonic 2 for the Genesis, and Sonic 2 for Game Gear. Here is Sonic Spinball for the Game Gear, and for the Genesis, based off of the Sonic Sat.AM cartoon. Sonic CD for the Sega CD.
Hey, oh, that was a classic. I hated that game.
Sonic Chaos for the Game Gear, Sonic 3 for the Genesis, as well as Sonic and Knuckles. Sonic Triple Trouble for the Game Gear, and here is Knuckles Chaotix for the 32X. Two games for the Game Gear include Tails Sky Patrol and Tails Adventure. Sonic Labyrinth for Game Gear, and also for Game Gear we have Sonic Blast. Next is Sonic Pocket Adventure for the Neo Geo, as well as Sonic Advance 1, 2, and 3. Here's Sonic Rush for the Nintendo DS. And here is Sonic Rivals for PSP. Those being Sonic Rush Adventure and Sonic Rivals 2 for their respective home consoles of the Nintendo DS and PSP. Here we have Sonic Colors for the Wii and the DS. Many years later they would return to this concept with Sonic Colors Ultimate for the PS4, Xbox One, and Nintendo Switch. In the same vein, we have Sonic Generations for Xbox 360, PS3, and DS. And in the same ballpark is Sonic Boom Fire and Ice, also for 3DS. Our final 2D platformer, at least one with a physical release, is Sonic Mania for the Switch, Xbox One, and PS4. First is Sonic 3D Blast for the Genesis, PC, and for the Sega Saturn. Here is Sonic Adventure for the Dreamcast. Years later, we would get the Director's Cut for the GameCube, in the form of Sonic Adventure DX Director's Cut. Here we have Sonic Adventure 2 for the Dreamcast. Similarly to Sonic Adventure 1, we got Sonic Adventure 2 Battle, also for the GameCube. Here is Sonic Heroes for the Xbox, PlayStation 2, and the GameCube. And here we have my game, Shadow the Hedgehog, only for GameCube, PS2, and for the Xbox. And here is the greatest achievement, Sonic Next Gen, or Sonic 06 for PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360. The game that outright ruined Sonic's reputation. Pair that up with a terrible Game Boy Advance port. And next is Sonic and the Secret Rings for the Wii. Following is Sonic Unleashed for the PlayStation 3, Nintendo Wii, and Xbox 360. Oh, and I forgot the PlayStation 2. And next we have Sonic and the Black Knight, also for the Wii. But fine, I'll mention these games once more. And here is Sonic Lost World for the 3DS and the Wii U. Here is Sonic Boom Rise of Lyric for the Wii U. Another triumph, I must admit, for I was the best thing in this game. And it was full of glitches, bugs, and problems, on top of the redesigns, which caused people to outrage over blue arms. And here we have Sonic Forces for the Nintendo Switch, Xbox One, and the PlayStation 4. The most recent in our library is Sonic Frontiers, an actually good game, spawning through the Xbox One, PS4, Nintendo Switch, and even the PS5. I'm of course referring to Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine for the Game Gear and for the Genesis. Also classified as a puzzle is Sonic Pinball Party for the Game Boy Advance. Here we have Sonic Shuffle for the Dreamcast. I guess these two games also qualify as puzzle games. We have an entire genre of Mario and Sonic at the Olympics. There's Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games for the Wii and the DS, Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Winter Games for the Wii and DS, Mario and Sonic at the London 2012 Olympic Games for the Wii and Nintendo 3DS, Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Winter Games Sochi 2014 for the Wii U, Mario and Sonic at the Rio 2016 Olympic Games for Wii U and 3DS, and finally, Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games Tokyo 2020 for the Switch. Here is Sega Superstars Tennis for the PlayStation 2, the PlayStation 3, the Nintendo DS, the Xbox 360, and the Wii. On the Game Gear, we have Sonic Drift 1 and 2, and then there's the infamous Sonic R for the Sega Saturn and Sega PC. I suppose Sonic Rivals 1 and 2 do deserve acknowledgement, but before Rivals, we had Sonic Riders for the GameCube, PS2, and for the Xbox. Right, they loved the game so much that when they released Sonic Riders Zero Gravity for the PS2 and the Wii, there were only 2 games instead of 3. That being Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racing for the Wii, PS3, Xbox 360, and the Nintendo DS. They decided not to include you. Of course not. The Xbox 360 wanted its fair share of Sonic free riders, and as such, it made it for the Kinect. You get to play as Sonic. Here we have Sonic and All-Stars Racing Transformed for the Wii U, 3DS, PS3, Xbox One, Xbox 360, and even the PS Vita. The final Sonic racing game is Team Sonic Racing for the Switch, PS4, and Xbox One. And here are the educational games. Starting with Wacky World's Creativity Studio for the Genesis. Here for the Pico is Tails and the Music Maker. Also for the Pico is Sonic the Hedgehog's Game World. Here for the PC is the infamous Sonic Schoolhouse. We even have Sonic X for the Leapster. We have a few games that don't really fit anywhere, such as Sonic Battle for the Game Boy Advance. We also have Sonic Chronicles: The Dark Brotherhood for the DS. We have Sonic Classics for the Genesis, Sonic & Knuckles Collection for the PC, Sonic Jam for Sega Saturn, Sonic Mega Collection for the GameCube, Sonic Mega Collection Plus for the Xbox and PlayStation 2, Sonic Gems Collection for GameCube, Sonic Classic Collection for the DS, and finally, Sonic's Ultimate Genesis Collection for the PS3 and Xbox 360.
By the way, did you remember to mention Flicky? Some people like to remember Flicky. I know I do. Oh yeah, Baldy McNose here also forgot about these games. I was in Super Smash Bros. Brawl and oh boy, was I awesome in this game. I mean, not only did I stop the final boss, Taboo, but I was one of the first ever third-party characters in one of these Smash Bros. Games, alongside Solid Snake, of course. Then I'd move on to Super Smash Bros. For 3DS and Wii U, where once again I'd show up, not as an unlockable character though. And we have Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, where I am once again a mainstay. And I'm probably gonna stick around Smash for a long time, you know? Don't see me leaving this anytime soon.
There's only one game you forgot, Egghead. Sonic and Garfield Pack. But of course, you can find out about that game some other time.